Hello to all the young moms. Our new episode is specially curated for you. Taking care of your bundle of joy with so much information around the internet can be really overwhelming. And that's why we bring to you Dr. Roma Sarnayak, a lifestyle medicine physician who will guide you to inculcate good nutrition practices right from infancy. So as we spoke about children, because it's the growing phase of the life and nutrition is maybe the most important during that time of the life. So what according to you is the ideal nutrition for children, especially the ones who are aged below 1 year?
um, See, the nutrition for children varies according to their developmental stages, and it also varies child to child. So of two different kids of 2 years, let's say, need not necessarily have the same nutrient requirements. You know what I mean? So it varies, but generally speaking, there are a few points related to child nutrition which I would like to highlight. Like, for example, the UNICEF and WHO, that is the World Health Organization, they suggest exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months of life. So as soon as a baby is born and until his 6 month of life, he should be exclusively breastfed, which means that he should just be given breast milk and not be started on any solid foods, because basically breast milk provides a baby with all the required essential nutrients that he or she needs for the first 6 months. And then 6 months onwards we start with complementary feeding, but we don't stop the breastfeeding. The initiation of breastfeeding should be within 1 hour of birth, and breastfeeding should be continued till 2 years of age along with complementary feeding. Then infant nutrition means making sure that your baby is getting enough nutrients during his first year, basically. And nutrients are calories, protein, fat, vitamins, and minerals. Different, like I told you. Your baby may also need a special diet. So whatever I am telling is like generalized for all the kids. Your baby also needs regular checkups so that he or she is growing properly. You have to consult your caregiver or nutritionist if child is not gaining weight, or you have trouble nursing, or if your baby is not eating or having milk properly each day, or if he or she has diarrhea or vomiting, or is not having the breast milk for more than 1 day. So this may mean that a baby is not able to digest all the feedings you're giving them. So these are all the points to be considered. Then I have some helpful hints for feeding your baby for all the nursing mothers. So breast milk, like I said, is best for your baby and is beneficial even if you only breastfeed for a short amount of time or part-time. Cow's milk-based infant formula with iron should be offered as the first choice of formula if you do not breastfeed. I'll come back to this, the reasons for not breastfeeding. Okay. Then you have to keep your baby on breastfed milk or infant formula until they are 1 year old. Breast milk obviously being the first choice. There are some contraindications to breastfeeding, or for mothers who are not able to breastfeed, when we prefer the cow's milk based infant formula. Then solid foods are to be started when your baby can basically hold up their head and sit up with support and no longer has tongue thrusting, just to avoid choking due to a few food options. And when starting solid, you have to start with rice cereal mixed with breast milk, and then eventually you can add up other food items, and you have to feed them on a spoon, with a spoon, and not in the feeding bottle. The rice cereals and grains, you cannot feed them in a bottle. You have to, this is because you need to avoid the choking. Then once your baby is tolerating cereal or for vegetables, then you can add in fruits, then you can add in meals. You can always ask your healthcare provider about the best way how to add new foods to your baby's diet, and a nutritionist can be really helpful for this. Then you have to progress in the texture of food so that your baby is eating table foods by, let's say, almost their first birthday, that is the first year. Then there are two things which you need to avoid. First being honey, because there's risk of toxicity by botulinum toxin. So there's this infant botulism which is due to a toxin. which can get added in the honey. So you have to avoid honey for the first year of life. And then secondly, foods that can be easily choked on, like I said, like peanuts, grapes, raisins, popcorn. So
Yeah.
basically, yeah, cow's milk or other dairy milk products should not be given until at least 1 year of age, and this is because your baby's kidneys cannot tolerate the high protein and mineral content that is there in the cow-based milk until that age. Then, obviously, for the first 3 months, you cannot give fruits, not at all. 6th month onwards, you can add fruit, then you can increase the quantity. Even juices are after 5 to 8 months. Meat, poultry, eggs, fish, or peanut butter, cooked dried beans, all these things you can start, with 1 to 2 tablespoon amount of 1 to 2 tablespoon, but pureed after the 6th month, and then you can go to, maybe let's say 1/4 or half a cup for the baby by 1 year of age. Then you can start with plain yogurt as well after 6th month of age. You can start with maybe with 1 to 2 tablespoons per day after 6 months of age. Water, most infants get the water that is required through the breast milk. So breast milk basically provides all the nutrient requirements, as well as it helps to hydrate the baby. So there's no need to feed the baby with water separately. But after 6th month of age, obviously you can start with water, you can start with breast milk or formulas or even juices. But let's say in very hot climates, for people like in India, we have very hot summers. For them, you may want to add half or 1 cup of water every day, to neutralize the losses due to sweating, etc. 12 months of age, all infants start drinking water properly by between 6 to 12 months. It again varies for each infant. And infancy is a period in life of a child between birth to 12 months of age, and inadequate nutrition during infancy can result in stunted growth, height kam ho jata hai, ya improper development, undernourished, like their children can look visibly undernourished. Then low body weight, then delayed cognitive and physical development, and even death. So delayed cognitive development basically means the brain doesn't grow at a speed that it should grow normally for a child. So if a child is undernourished and nutrition properly agar nahi de rahe hum child ko, to brain development stops. And research even shows that the size of the brain, there have been CT and MRI scans of children done, and so the researchers have compared their nutrition levels and the size of the brain. So when a child is not getting proper nutrition, a child's brain size decreases. So obviously, if a brain size decreases, there are other neuronal changes in the brain, chemical changes in the brain, and a child will not develop the way he or she is supposed to, and there will be some developmental delays. So that's why nutrition is so important. And just to summarize, obviously all the nutrients are needed by a baby and a toddler or a child, like all the adults do, including carbohydrates, proteins, fats, minerals, vitamins. And infant formulas and breast milk generally contain sufficient amounts of required nutrients, but with the exception of vitamin D and iron, which are low in breast milk. Okay, so you have to always ask your pediatrician or nutritionist if whether or not your baby needs a multivitamin supplement, liquid one, containing vitamin D or iron, whether or not it's appropriate for your infant, especially if the baby is exclusively breastfed. Because even though the WHO and UNICEF suggest exclusive breastfeeding for the first 6 months, there are still parts of the population who do not follow this. Yeah. So one of the goals, global nutrition goals have been to achieve exclusive breastfeeding in all the countries. But obviously, even though we are progressing in that, there are still families and mothers who put their children on solid foods just before 6th month. So for that. Then again, omega-3 fatty acids are very important for your infant's brain development. And the IOM, that is Institute of Medicine, encourages infants up to 6 months of age to consume at least 60 grams of carbohydrates, 9.1 grams of protein, 31 grams of total fat, and 500 milligrams of omega-3 fatty acids each day. And the Institute of Medicine also recommends infants aging 7 to 12 months to consume 95 grams of carbs, 11 grams of protein, 30 grams of total fat, and 500 milligrams of omega-3 acids every day. Now, again, it doesn't have to be exactly that amount. These are the generalized values they have come up with for everyone, and it again differs child to child. But generally, all these nutrients should be covered in the diet. So, like we spoke about, birth to 6 months, exclusive breastfeeding. Then, infants from 0 to 6 months, they should be breastfeeding or feeding infant milk-based formulas every few hours or on demand to help meet their requirements. So children, generally they'll cry, or there'll be other signs which generally the parents or the mother understands. Like, for example, the baby will cry, or he will be, really uncomfortable or whatever. And yeah, so generally every 2 hours or so, every child must feed. Then the first foods. After the baby is 6 months of age, he can start eating solid foods. But then, like I said, ask your pediatrician always, just to be sure before starting on solid foods. One more thing, iron fortified. So we have these iron fortified cereals, rice cereals or breast milk, which can be mixed to thin consistency at 6th month, which is like the most commonly introduced first food for children in almost all the countries. So maybe 1 to 2 tablespoons of the rice liquid cereal given 2 times a day or 3 to 4 times a day can be sufficient. Then, like I said, after your baby has mastered eating rice cereal, you can offer him other types of iron fortified cereals. However, breast milk is still the main source of nutrition. So these are just complementing the breast milk. So we don't have to forget feeding breast milk. Then second foods will be, once your baby has mastered cereals, maybe you can start fruits and vegetables like we spoke about. Between 6 to 8 months of age, then you can offer them 2 to 3 tablespoons of pureed fruits or vegetables 4 times a day. Then generally pediatricians recommend introducing one new food to your child every week. Just like, and you can it can help you even recognize the food allergies. So food allergies like totally a different topic, but food allergies can be diagnosed when you start introducing new foods to your baby. And there's some research which even suggests that some food allergies can even be avoided if those foods are introduced to the infant at an early age. So let's say if you do not introduce peanuts to your child and for a few years, and then let's say after 4th or 5th year of his life you introduce peanuts, so there he is at more risk of developing peanut allergy. So there's some research around that as well. And then after around 8 months of age, you can start with all the traditional food that you all eat at home. You can make your child sit on the dining table with you and, introduce foods. Again, keep a watch to avoid choking. Always keep a watch. And, always, this is a time when you can incorporate healthy eating habits to your child. And a child mimics what he sees around him. So if your child is sitting with you on a table and everyone's eating pizzas and burgers and some unhealthy food, child tends to develop those habits. So parents are very much in control of how their child eats during this period. So it can be very beneficial in incorporating some good habits, like incorporating habits of eating more fruits and vegetables and avoiding fried foods, etc. And it can even help the parents improve their dietary habits, while simultaneously helping their child develop good habits. So yeah, these are few points. And I think this topic, I can just go on talking about it.
I think it was very insightful. I think a lot of young moms will get a lot of crucial information from that. Hi guys, I hope you enjoyed this discussion. Let us know by liking and sharing the video. Also, if you have any healthcare related questions, list them in the comments below. Don't forget to subscribe and ring the bell icon so that you are notified every time we upload a new video. For more information on healthcare and wellness, check out our website www.healthsarthi.com.